Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru. And I love helping women align with their life purpose using ancient wisdom so that they, you, me, we confidently and courageously live the amazing lives we know we deserve. I wanted to come on and talk about a little bit about myself and how I've gotten onto this path. I know it looks so effortless and so easy, but I'm like most of you out there. I had to find my way back home to what I call a goddess centered lifestyle. Find my way back to my truth and what works best for me in my life and not what the world has told me. And so I just wanted to share a little bit with you all about how I have landed on this path of being aligned with the goddess and embracing the goddess centered lifestyle. First and foremost, as a child, I was always not really certain that everything I was taught was the truth. It just never really resonated with me. I was raised up in a religion, like a lot of people are, and I don't knock religion. I appreciate my family caring enough to share with me what worked for them. Though it never really resonated with me. As a matter of fact, there were times I was raised in the Catholic Church, in part, not just in the Catholic Church, but in part. And there were times when certain things I learned actually it made me feel horrible. Like I was raised under what is called the Baltimore Catechism, and we were taught something like, we carry the sins of Adam and Eve. There's original sin. Oh my God. Even to think about it now, it just makes me feel like, who teaches this bull crap? But anywho, it really made me feel horrible, guilty, all that kind of good stuff. And of course, at this point, we're young. I was young and just take on whatever the adults taught me and did my best to be a good Christian and to live the Christian principles. And I think there's a lot of beauty in Christianity. It's how it's taught, I think, that I take more issue with. And all the stuff that's been added in that's not really the original teachings of Jesus. But, I did my best to live these principles and just do what was right. And I remember at about 16 feeling like I just don't know if this is the religion for me. I didn't really have a choice. My mother was a Catholic convert and really embraced the rituals, which was like confirmation and just, she was really into me going to Catholic church first. If, I would want to go to my friend's church. And she was like, gotta go to Catholic church first. And so I just, because I am that way, it's like, okay, this is what my mother wants me to do. I'll do it. Whatever. She wasn't like a strict mom or anything like that. She's very loving. But she was very devout Catholic. But I remember telling people, I don't really know if I believe that there's a hell. That was the first time when I was in high school. I was just like, I don't think there's a hell. And of course, all my friends pushed back, like, of course there's a hell. That's what it says in the Bible or whatever. And I just knew something's not right. Well, once I went off to college, that's when I started making my break from Catholic church and started going to Black Baptist church. I've tried non-denominational and Methodist. My mother sent me to Methodist church before she got, super into Catholic church. And I've been to churches that like Pentecostal, not on a regular basis, just visiting. Pentecostal never fit with me. But I knew I was searching. And of course, I began to question even more because I went to a Black college, historically Black college, and started learning more about the transatlantic slave trade and just what my people were, the African part of me. I'm mixed up, y'all. I'm not going to even lie. I'm not 100% African, but that part of me, that those ancestors that came from Africa, what did they do before they got here. And so that was like the next thing that I began to question. I'm like, well, why? And of course, I've been in South USA my whole life. It's very Christian down here. Like it's openly Christian, and to a certain degree, it's almost like there's pressure to be a Christian because when you're not, you get pressured to be a Christian, or you get your question. Like I was even questioned as a Catholic. I was a Catholic in Mississippi, Black Catholic in Mississippi. So many questions if you're different. And so I remember talking to people when I was in grad school and saying to them that I wasn't certain if I was going to be Christian forever just because I didn't know what my ancestors had before they were brought over as, in that slave trade. And everyone was like, what difference does it make? I mean, this is white people, Black people. What difference does it make? This is what we have now. This is who and what we are now. And I don't know. I just was like, I just feel like I need to know. And I actually felt a little some kind of way because, of course, we're taught how Christianity was used to enslave Africans, right? So I just didn't feel comfortable. And I remember the deeper I got into this, the more I began to wonder, why is God just He? And my father-in-law, who is gorgeous, lovely, wonderful Christian pastor, I said that to him one day because he was sort of like sensing that I was pushing back against Christianity. And I was like, why is God He? Why can't God be she? And of course, he gave me his answer, whatever. And it's based on his faith, Christianity. And so that's when I just was like, well, not in that moment, but I just wasn't getting a lot of answers. And the thing that really pushed me over the ledge is I got so distressed in life because my mother had died that there was no more being able to sort of like temper this so that I didn't stand out, so that I didn't upset people. I was like totally distraught. I did not have the ability to just conform. And so I just said, I got to figure out what is the truth. And I have been on this journey since probably 1999. It took me a good long while because my husband is a Christian minister. Now he's a Christian pastor. And so it just sort of felt complicated. And it was uncertain. We're taught, don't do this, you might go to hell. It's so hard coming out of that. But what ended up happening was initially I started connecting to African traditions, beautiful, beautiful traditions, initiated into one that's very popular. It's called Ifa, and studied deeply the Metuneter, which is somewhat based on ancient Kemetic or Egyptian spirituality. But at the end of the day, that book is amazing. This man represents what we are here in the United States. It's a hodgepodge. It's gumbo because it has a whole lot of other stuff in there too. But definitely, it's definitely Afro. And then I met my godmother, Oshanike, and Oshanike is the one that offered me an opportunity to initiate. And I knew it had something to do with the divine feminine. Wasn't quite sure what it was because, of course, at this point, I still didn't know what the divine feminine was. This is like easily 3 to 4 years in. And so 3 to 4 years into when I just made that leap and said, I got to find out what the truth is. And so I start initiating, completed that initiation, ended up which is what I am now, a priestess of the sacred feminine mysteries. And what that helped me to realize is that there is both the divine father and the divine mother, and that the divine mother has been largely suppressed. Our knowledge of her energy has largely been suppressed. And that it's so important for women to understand that there is a great divine mother. a goddess and that we are that form. And so it behooves us to understand that part of ourselves so that we can, live to our potential in this lifetime. And I feel like understanding that there's both the divine masculine, the divine feminine, the father, the mother, then that has helped me to actually embrace so much more, to know so much better who and what I am. However, what I will say is, as I have continued my journey as one who embraces the goddess centered lifestyle, I have realized that there's a lot that we have to do on a regular basis. There is an entire world out there that is designed to keep us feeling like something's wrong with us, keeping us off center. And that this is how the world, to a certain degree, survives. It survives off us having problems. But and the other thing is, there's something about, I think it's about the human experience where we have to excavate ourselves. That is part of what we're here to do. So, all the noise, all the distraction, to a certain degree, it's a part of the plan. It's like why we come here, because now we have to figure out ways to get through it all. And then we have to excavate our true selves and live according to our destiny, or manifest our destiny, right? And so how do we do that? And that is remembering what is the goddess lifestyle? How do I do this? And what I can tell you is it includes a daily lifestyle of rituals that help us to balance our energy, to stay connected to our energy. It involves us learning what really is this feminine body. What is this feminine energy? How do I work with this energy? And keeping it clear. It involves cycles and understanding that we live according to cycles. Everybody does, but we feminine beings, we especially live according to cycles. And understanding what cycle you're in will help you to understand what should you be doing at this particular juncture, and to understand that the cycle is it's a circle, and you just keep cycling up. And one of the things that we talk about is the spiral. This is why a lot of times you'll see people who are a part of this lifestyle, they love the spiral, or they will use that as an analogy of how life works for them. And it's because every cycle will take you higher and higher. And so, understanding what cycle you're in, even think about it. We will describe our periods as our cycle. Oh, girl, I'm on my cycle, right? That's because that's what we live according to. But if you're not taught this, if you're not helped to remember this, then you may not be doing this. And this is how so many women, I do readings for people, and I just see she's not operating within her cycle. You help a woman understand where she is right now and what the focus is, she'll do it. And she gets results. And that's what I began to realize as someone who initiated into a goddess tradition. I finished in 2006. This is at the recording of this video, 2020. And it has taken me realizing you must stick with understanding the cycles. You must live the cycles. You must know your cycles day in and day out. And I think a lot of us feel exhausted doing that. And this is how this is how I've gotten distracted. It's like, does this really matter? You don't see other people doing it in the world. And it's so easy to get distracted. But as I have said, let me just do this goddess lifestyle thing day in and day out. And I've been on it for the last few years, maybe 3 to 4 years. And I have found it works. It works like a charm. So, yeah, I have gotten to a place where it's just about keeping things clear, living according to the cycles, and aligning with my destiny, which means taking action. That is the last little part of this whole goddess way of being. Inaction sometimes is good, but a lot of us are stuck, and that's what the inaction looks like. But taking ourselves into a place of, I know what cycle I am in, and so I know what action to take. And loving, the seasons, and understanding, the astrology and the numerology, and perhaps maybe not doing everything like everybody else. This is what I have figured out for me is the best. And to see my life now compared to what it used to be there's no comparison. And yeah, I just am grateful that I always knew it. And I'm glad I gave myself an opportunity to at least give it a try. Because what I said to myself was, number one, this ish ain't working. Like what I'm experiencing right now, it's just not working. What the world is giving me, yeah, I just feel like crap. And so I'm just gonna do something different. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Wouldn't take nothing from my journey. Wouldn't take nothing from my journey. So yeah, this is my experience with or how I came to be a part of the goddess tradition. And one last thing that I'll say, and I just say it because I know quite a few people who watch my videos are very much into Ifa. Ifa is actually a very feminine tradition. However, it's full of, very masculine energy, very masculine ways of being. And so I just encourage you all, find the feminine way and live according to that. So thank you so much, you all, for taking time to watch this video. And I hope that it inspires you to move more in the direction of your natural rhythms, to be okay with your divine feminine way of being. We're all so different. There are some of us that are so feminine, and then there's some of us who are very masculine, divine feminine beings. And guess what? It's all gorgeous and beautiful. And we just need to embrace our own way of doing this. And so I hope that this inspires you to understand yourself as a divine feminine being and to embrace the goddess-centered lifestyle that will help to bring more balance and more clarity. Oh, and community. Oh my gosh, I kept thinking there's something I want to say. For me, it is about connecting with other women in doing this work. And so community is key. It is not natural and normal for us to be spending all this time alone. We need our sisters to help us to be able to stand when sometimes we feel like we cannot stand. There is nothing like this beautiful, gorgeous community that we are as women to support another woman until she can stand and move forward in her own confidence, in her own gorgeous, beautiful self, in her own gorgeous, beautiful way. So yes, community, community, community. Find that community. Thank you so much again. I appreciate you for watching. Please make sure you share this with someone who maybe needs to hear about why she should go on ahead and just embrace that goddess-centered lifestyle. And if you need a reading or you would like to join the community that I have created, the Inner Circle, the Zenzi Sisterhood, please, goddessbodymindspirit.com. You can learn more about it there. Hey, y'all have a wonderful day. Hey, goddess blessings to you. Peace, my sister.